If you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go. Okay, guys, it is Wednesday, February the 6th, and it's 7:51 p.m. Eastern Time. We don't have any Q posts for today, but we do have plenty of Q-related news, and of course, we have the State of the Union address to discuss. So, let's get into it. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you probably saw the State of the Union address, or at least you caught clips of it. If you got any clips of it from the mainstream media, then you probably didn't get the real deal. Honestly, it was the best State of the Union address I have ever heard, and quite frankly, I believe, although I don't have the luxury of having all of the State of the Union addresses to look at, but I believe that it's probably one of the best in history. I could not find anything to fault with it at all, but of course that didn't prevent the Democrats from faulting it, obviously. And of course, the way it was set up, we were looking at Trump, but to Trump's right was Pence, and to his left was Pelosi, and we really couldn't help but get a big eyeful of Pelosi, and she sat and played with her dentures for the entire speech. Yeah, it was absolutely disgusting. I don't know, but something needs to be done about that. I mean, somebody needs to tell her how awful it looks. It's just hideously awful. It literally makes me gag a little and throw up a little in my mouth. I'm not even joking. It's nasty. Seeing somebody play with their dentures is not attractive. Anyway, having said that, let's get into the Q-related news, because a lot of this has to do with the State of the Union, and we'll discuss it as we go. Alrighty. And we'll just take it as it comes. Some of this is from yesterday, because I meant to do a video yesterday, but after the State of the Union, I really wanted to get caught up on what the talking heads were saying about it, because I was curious, and it got to be too late to do a video. But I'm here tonight. All right. Interesting. Look at this. This is from Greg Rabini. Peter Strzok, former FBI top agent, worked as a spy for Iran the whole time. For Iran and for the Muslim Brotherhood. Guess which will be the verdict penalty for Peter Strzok? Well, traitor. Yeah, that's pretty much it right there. Yeah, not looking good for Peter Strzok. Not looking good at all. All right, let's go back. See what else we can get into. And of course, it's always good to hear from our president. Here is Donald J. Trump tweeting, "I see Schumer is already criticizing my State of the Union speech, even though he hasn't seen it yet." Now, this was before the speech, obviously. He's just upset that he didn't win the Senate after spending a fortune like he thought he would. Too bad we weren't given more credit for the Senate win by the media. Yeah, well, unfortunately, that will never happen as long as we have the current state of affairs in the media. That needs to be cleaned up, and then perhaps we can start trusting what we hear again. Who knows? And this one by Donald Trump. "Tremendous numbers of people are coming up through Mexico in the hopes of flooding our southern border. We have additional military. We will build a human wall if necessary. If we had a real wall, this would be a non-event." And of course, it would be. But the Democrats, were right hot and heavy on it, saying, "Oh, well, this is a manufactured crisis, and there's no crisis on our border," and it's ridiculous, because I really believe that most Americans, in fact, he had a 76% approval rating. 76%. That is phenomenal. I mean, he blew it out of the water. But and most Americans want a wall. They want something done about the illegal immigration, not legal immigration. We're not talking about people that come to the country legally. We're talking about people that break in. You know, it's like if you invite someone into your home, that's one thing. Because usually, before you invite someone in, you know who they are and you know what they're about. Not so good when somebody breaks into your house. Well, that's what they're doing by the hundreds of thousands. So, yeah, it's no manufactured crisis. We all know that there's a huge crisis on the border, and we know that Donald Trump is trying, and the Republicans are trying to address it, and the Democrats are blocking them at every turn. So, it's amazing to me that the Democrats are more interested in politics and in proving their point than the American people that elected them. They work for us. I think somebody needs to tell them that. The taxpayers pay their salary, and they're not listening. They're not listening. So I guess we have to take it to the polls, don't we? And hope that our election fraud situation gets worked out beforehand so that we can trust our elections again, because we certainly can't trust them now. Now, and again with the border, breaking. Mexican federal agents escort 51 buses with approximately 1,800 illegal aliens through Mexico and toward the U.S. border. Sources say the state of, I can't pronounce that, Mexico paid for the transportation. Media not reporting this. Well, we are, the alt media is, but yeah, the media is not going to report that because they would rather claim that it's a manufactured crisis. Now, what's going to happen when the people of Venezuela think, you know what, wouldn't be so bad for me to get on a bus and just go on up there and slip into the States? Might get something to eat. Well, I'm telling you, they're not going to stop coming until there's a wall. A big wall. All right. And this, in case you're feeling dumb today, Sacramento, California is planning to pay gang members $1.5 million to keep the peace. Okay. They're going to pay gang members $1.5 million to keep the peace. You can't keep the peace through violence. It's kind of like screwing for virginity. I'm just saying. All right. Sorry to be so crude, but all right. And this from Anna Polina. For those advocating for socialized health care, in Canada, for example, waiting time equals 21.2 weeks between referral from a general practitioner and receipt of treatment. Longer than the wait of 20 weeks reported in 2016. It doesn't work. And you know what? It doesn't. As a Canadian, I grew up here. I spent most of my adult life in the States, and I'm back here because of an aging parent, and my brother passed away. So as the only surviving sibling, then I feel responsible. And it doesn't work. You know, my mother and my stepfather, my father had passed away and my mother remarried, and they are both ill, and it takes forever. And in fact, we are worried that my stepfather may die before he gets proper treatment. He has horrible COPD, even though he never smoked, and he's not in good shape, but it takes forever. You go to your family doctor. You can't just go to a specialist. You have to go to your family doctor, and then they have to try whatever to try and fix it. And if they can't, they'll send you to a specialist. Well, just to get into a specialist takes forever. Then if that specialist wants tests, you have to wait for those tests. And then you have to wait to go back to get the tests because they won't tell you. And it's forever. It's forever. People die waiting for treatment here. So, yeah. All right. Now, this is interesting. Maybe any of you guys in Los Angeles can pipe up in the comments below on this, because I would like to know more about it. This happened in downtown Los Angeles. The U.S. military held unexpected war drill in downtown Los Angeles. Now, this is interesting. What are they preparing for? What are they expecting? I don't know. But this is odd. I've never heard of this happening before, but maybe you guys that are in the military or former military can tell me. Maybe this happens all the time and I'm just not aware of it. But anyway, let's take a look at this. Helicopters swarmed overhead, loud booms echoed through the street. And it says, no, this is not Beirut, Damascus, or Kabul. It's downtown Los Angeles. As the LA Times reports, a series of loud booms that rocked downtown LA on Monday night startled some people, but LAPD said there's no need to be concerned, as the noises were part of a U.S. Army training exercise involving aircraft and weapons simulations in urban settings. Why are we practicing Army training in urban settings? I mean, maybe that's normal, because I don't know, when they're overseas or whatever, I'm sure that they do have to do, are involved in urban warfare to some extent. I don't know, but I'm not in the military. I've never been in the military, but some of you guys are still in the military and are former military as well. And you can tell me, is this normal or isn't it? Do you live in Los Angeles? Did you see any of this? What did you experience? What did you hear? What did you see? We want to know. Put it in the comments below. The training is set to run through Saturday in Los Angeles and Long Beach. Residents may hear sounds associated with the training, including aircraft and weapons simulations, the LAPD said in a news release. Each location selected enables special operations teams and flight crews to maintain maximum readiness and proficiency, validate equipment, and exercise standard safety procedures. The training is essential to ensure service members are fully trained and prepared to defend our nation overseas. Now, notice they put that in there, nation overseas, but we all know that they are expecting some civil unrest. And we know that because Q talked about it a year ago. There probably is going to be some civil unrest at some point when all of this comes out. The Army also noted that the local terrain and training facilities in Los Angeles provide the Army with unique locations and simulates urban environments the service members may encounter while deployed overseas. There is no replacement for realistic training. And I agree with that. Absolutely, I agree with that. But, really, Los Angeles is a good simulation of what they might experience overseas? I'm not buying that. Not everyone got the message. So it says you want to do military exercises in downtown LA? Cool, man. Just warn us. You got a generation of post 9/11 folks frantically refreshing to find out if there's a need for us to book it out of town. So obviously not everybody got the message that this was coming. And yes, I agree that if I didn't know and I saw this, I would be very concerned. So they probably were as well. Anyway, let's go on from there, but please do put it in the comments below if you have any additional information. I would appreciate it. I know I comb through those comments, and I know a lot of other people do as well. All right, let's go back. Let's get rid of him, and let's go back. All right, now this I don't understand. Democrats blocked the Born Alive bill in Senate. No words, eyes leaking. How have we come as Americans to the point of thinking it's okay to kill a live baby? So yes, the Democrats did block a bill. It was called, I think it's called the Born Alive. Yeah, it is Born Alive bill. And basically, if a baby is born alive during the course of an abortion, what this bill says is that medical help has to be administered to this child if it is born alive, and the abortion has been botched. And I actually heard I'm not sure where it was, and it was years and years and years ago, but a young woman, fabulous speaker, and she had been born alive. It was a botched abortion, and I believe that the mother ended up keeping her. I'm not sure, but if she was adopted or if the mother kept her, but she turned out to be just a delightful young woman and a wonderful motivational speaker. And she talked about the perils of this very thing, because how can you, if you're going through an abortion and the baby's born alive and the baby is viable outside of the womb, why would you kill it at that point? Why not put it up for adoption? Allow somebody else to love it. But they blocked the bill. So that means that if you are having an abortion and your baby is born alive, or a baby is born alive, then the doctor can then proceed to kill it. I don't see any excuse for that. I don't. You cannot tell me a good, viable reason to do that. There is none. It doesn't exist. So this was from Mrs. Claus, and I would agree. She said eyes leaking. Yes, it's heinous. And to tell you the truth, I don't believe this country's going to get away with it. I believe that judgment's coming. And I know not all of you are believers, and that is fine. This is totally, you can just totally rack this up to my opinion. That's fine. But I do believe that. I don't believe you can judge a society on how it treats its weakest members, its elderly, its infirm, its children. And what do we have here? Yeah. All right. And good old cat turd. A day is not a day without a little cat turd. Breaking: Ruth Bader Ginsburg will be at the State of the Union tonight. She'll be sitting between Elvis and John Belushi. Yeah, well, I looked for Elvis and I looked for John Belushi just so that I could pinpoint where she was, but I couldn't find either of those guys, so I don't know. All right. And here is QT Anon. I asked my wife if I could touch her hair. She said yes. I rubbed my finger across her top lip. That's when the fight started. Barry. Now, I just threw that in there for fun because I'm reading through all this stuff and I found that and I laughed and laughed and laughed. Why? Because I have a very twisted sense of humor and I could see that perfectly. It's like when your wife asks you, do I look fat in this? Never say yes. Now, I would not be good at that. If I was a man, I'd not be good at that. I really wouldn't. Because if somebody said, does this make me look fat? I'd say, well, no, your fat makes you look fat. Okay. I'm not really, I don't get invited to parties much. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All right. And I'm not making fun of fat people. I'm carrying around a few extra pounds myself. Okay, this is interesting. Look at this. No, really, look. United States Senator for California, Dianne Feinstein. Washington Senator Dianne Feinstein, or is it Feinstein? I don't know. What is it? Which is it? Somebody told me once and I forgot. And a group of colleagues today introduced legislation to prevent the president from using the National Emergencies Act of 1976 to raid critical military construction, water infrastructure, and disaster response funds to fund or to build a border wall. So they're trying to block this now by introducing a bill because they know full well what President Trump's going to do. Oh, yes, they do. And they don't like it, because they have tried every possible thing that they can do to obstruct, and it's not working. He's found a way around them. They don't like that, so they want to introduce a bill. And that would be Diane, the one with the Chinese spy for a chauffeur. And why did she need a chauffeur? I'm just asking. Why? All right, let's go back. right. And like this by Dan Bongino, Maxine Waters triggered, hopes America turns the television off during State of the Union. Yeah, she said that. She's not made any bones about the fact that she does not like this president. Impeach 45. Impeach 45. Yeah, that's my Maxine Waters impression. Do you like it? Oh, wait. Impeach 45. Impeach 45. Now, is that better? Yeah, thought so. Had to do the little downward turn of the mouth. That's from always frowning, apparently. I guess the woman's just not happy. She doesn't look happy. She looks miserable. All right, so yeah, she wants the Americans to turn off their televisions. Well, you know what? They didn't. I think most people watched it, or most people caught part of it, and 76% approved of it. 76, Maxine Waters. 76%. Yeah. Not looking too good for impeaching him right now, is it, Maxine? No, not good at all. All right, and then, the Democrats all dressed in white, and, I put on Twitter that they were missing part of their costume because they forgot the white pointy hats because, really, when your party has been blamed for starting the Ku Klux Klan, then why on earth would you all dress in white? Seriously. Who thinks this stuff up? Really? Oh, there they all were in white. Yep. Looking like a bunch of Klansmen and women. Well, I guess there were no women in the Klan. I don't know. Okay. Charlie Kirk. Donald Trump helped America create almost 4 million jobs, achieved lowest ever unemployment, gain 400,000 manufacturing jobs, achieve highest ever median household income, and Democrats refuse to clap and stand for success. In fact, the only time the Democrats clapped and cheered was when Donald Trump pointed out that there were more women in this, now there were more women in the party and whatever, and they clapped. They clapped for themselves, basically. They didn't clap for anything else. And there's Chuck Schumer just grinning when Trump talked about babies being killed after, outside of the womb or right up until the time of birth. Chuck Schumer was just grinning. It was the most wicked thing. Very unnerving. Very, very unnerving. All right. And this from Desert Storm Vet. Dear Lord, please stop working your mouth. Get new dentures. Get a therapist. Get an exorcist. Whatever you need to do, you look like you have a nervous disorder. And she does. Oh my gosh. I suggested, and look, I am drinking my tea in a lovely Q mug. Yes, I went to the bookstore because I am a fanatic about books, and I found a Q mug, and it was marked way down because nobody has names that start with Q, but I should have picked them all up, really. But what would I do with a bunch of Q mugs? I don't know. Somebody asked me in the last video what kind of tea I'm drinking. It's just orange pekoe tea. And it's in Canada here, because there's such a British influence, many people drink tea over coffee, and I always have a pot of tea on, and it's just orange pekoe with a little splash of goat milk. I know, that probably turned some of your stomachs, but it's delicious goat milk. All right. Okay, let's go on now that I've had my little break and advertised my mug. Okay. Now, this is a little bit off topic, but I'm gonna touch on it anyway because it's important. Cancer industry plotting to destroy the new cancer cure developed by Israeli scientists. The attacks have already begun. Now, this should not surprise any of us because we know all about big pharma. And, I believe that a lot of diseases were created just so that they could cure them, so-called cure them, or manage them with expensive drugs that we have to buy. But apparently, they came up with a cure for cancer, these Israeli scientists, and now they're trying to destroy it. Basically, that's the story. Cutting-edge cancer treatment being developed in Israel. The moment that Israeli scientists announced they had discovered a universal cancer cure that worked with a single injection and required no toxic chemotherapy, radiation therapy, or surgery, I said to myself, the cancer industry is going to destroy this team of scientists. In exactly the same way, the scientists who announced the discovery of cold fusion in 1989 were vilified and slandered out of existence. The cancer establishment will destroy, discredit, and defame any scientist who dares go public with the truth about reversing or curing cancer. In fact, the attacks on the Israeli scientists have already begun. Our cancer cure will be very effective from day one, will last a duration of a few weeks, and will have no or minimal side effects at much lower cost than most other treatments on the market, lead researcher Dan Arador told the Jerusalem Post. We believe we will offer in a year's time a complete cure for cancer. Almost immediately, the cancer establishment, run by wealthy, treacherous liars and villains who profit by denying humanity access to cancer prevention and cancer reversal treatments, began a massive negative PR campaign to smear the Israeli scientists. The campaign will continue to escalate until these scientists are declared fraudsters and quacks, denied all funding, and completely vilified on Wikipedia, Scientific America, and everywhere else. This is how the cancer establishment operates. The cancer industry works overtime to vilify and destroy the careers of all scientists who discover cancer cures. Now, what I would ask that you would do, if you are a believer, please pray for these scientists. Please pray for their protection, and that this gets into the hands of those that desperately need it. People are dying every day of cancer, and it's tragic because so many young people are taken far, far too soon from cancer. It's horrible. And I don't know what it is about this little corridor that I'm in, but it has got to have one of the highest cancer rates in the world. When I was in the States, it was rare for me to run into someone with cancer, especially someone my age. Here, probably, every day you hear of a new person with cancer. It's just unbelievable. And no one seems to know why. Is it in the water? Is it in the air? Is it in the soil? We don't know. But cancer rates are through the roof here. Unbelievable. And a lot of people, have survived cancer. My mother has survived breast cancer twice. And, I know a lot of women here that have survived breast cancer and some that have not survived it. But it's horrible. And this needs to be available to those that need it. So please, if you are a believer, please pray for these scientists. This is so needed. I just wanted to see this. What will never happen? A breakthrough, sir. I've just discovered the cure for cancer. Brilliant. Let's skip the patent process and give it to the whole world for free. Yeah, big pharma. Yeah, well, we know that they're a joke. I believe in natural healing whenever possible. Why did I do that? I don't know. I'm trying to go back here. Yeah, I believe in natural healing whenever possible, but sometimes we do need doctors. All right, Charlie Kirk. This was the best State of the Union speech our generation and possibly one of the greatest ever given. I concur. Strong, emotional, visionary, and passionate. We are so blessed to have him as our president. I could not have said that better myself. Absolutely. It was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, I don't know how long I've been going here. but I wonder if I should break and make this into two because I've got quite a bit. I'm going to go a little bit further, and then I'm going to break this in and do two videos because there's a lot, and you know, there's a lot of people that would rather the videos be shorter because they've got a lot of YouTube people to catch up with, and you know, they want to get the news and move on to the next video, and I understand that. I get it. So if I'm doing hour videos all the time, then it's like it's taking a big chunk out of people's evening. So I may do two videos, and that way, you know, people can pick and choose which they want to listen to, both if they wish, whatever. All right. So I'm just going to go for a few more minutes here, and then I'm going to break and start the next video. All right, breaking 911, Trump. Here in the United States, we are alarmed by the new calls to adopt socialism in our country. America was founded on liberty and independence and not government coercion, domination, and control. We are born free and we will stay free. One of the best quotes I've ever heard. And that quote is going to follow him. You mark my words, that quote's going to follow him because it's phenomenal. Born free, stay free. This country, it's based in freedom. It's what we stand for. And yeah, talk to Venezuela about socialism and see how it worked for them. Not too good. Not too good at all. All right. And I'd prefer to keep my cats and not eat them. I'm just saying. Because literally, they have had to eat their pets and zoo animals and everything else and rodents and what have you. And I've probably said this before, but at the end of World War II, so much starvation in Europe that literally you could not find any songbirds because people were killing them to eat them. No pets. Yeah. So anyway, we definitely don't want that here. Don't need that here. All right, let's take a look at this, then we're going to break. Okay, now, this is something that'll make you a little sick to your stomach. Yeah, okay, I hope you're not eating. Okay, he says, I want to thank President Trump for being the warm-up act. Now we have the real show, the great Stacey Abrams from the state of Georgia. Well, what's so great about her? What's so great about her? I wasn't impressed. Her rebuttal was not a rebuttal. Her response was not a response. It was me, 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 me. Republicans are bad. Orange man bad. Me, 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 me. Orange man bad. Me, 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 me. Orange man bad. Me, 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 me. I got gypped. I should have won. Me, me, me. Orange man bad. That's what it was. I just told you the whole speech right there. Now, let's listen to this nut bar.
Well, I want to thank President Trump for being the warm-up act. Now we have the real show, the great Stacey Abrams from the state of Georgia.
Yeah. Now we have the real show, the great Stacey Abrams from Georgia. Yeah, yeah. Why did they have someone that lost the election give the rebuttal? I don't get it. Don't get it. And what was that? She looked like she was in front of a green screen. Like the lighting on her in the background, it just looked like there was like a little cutout of her there, or that she was in front of a green screen with the audience, you know, kind of whatever. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. Very weird. Okay, well, I'm going to stop here. No, I am. And I'm coming back. No, really, unless something catastrophic happens, like my kitten chews through my... No, even that, because I've got spares now. So, pretty much coming back. Yep. All right. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I'll talk to you real soon.